13 years ago, a baby-faced Alex bought a 1976 Datsun 240Z. We engine swapped it, we wide-bodied it, and we did just about everything we possibly could do to a car for the first time. It was the car that made me start the Wisconsin Car Enthusiast Club when I was 19. It's what made me launch a YouTube channel called Automotive Millennial in 2016. And it was the only car I regret selling when I moved to Appleton when I started working way back when at that wheel company. It's why when I learned that this car desperately needed a home, I wanted to try it all again. This is my Series 1 Datsun 240Z. And it may not look like much from the outside, but I promise there are some secrets hiding on the inside. But we didn't just buy this because I wanted a Z again. In fact, as it sits right now, this car is probably more expensive than our junkyard Ferrari F430 project. But I was okay with that because of Chad.
You and I took on Chad's build with the promise to get it running and driving. That's the goal. But to do that means going through every bolt, every part, every gasket, and every button to see if it's actually hooked up to anything and to make sure all the parts we said we had are actually doing what they're supposed to do.
Chad, it is so good to see you, man.
Nice to be here, Alex. Thanks for having me. And yeah, so I was the former owner of the 1970 240Z, the Series 1 unicorn, the mythical unicorn that does exist that has not rusted to the ground. Kind of I'm a third generation owner. Now you're the fourth. So my Uncle Steve gave me that car.
Chad's uncle was a 6'4" behemoth of an American who would spend his weekends at home in this car.
He was meticulous. Like, he just took such good care of the car, and the records you'll see when you get the book. I mean, the book that he had was like this, man. He just had stuff in it that it didn't matter if it could be a wiper change. He had a receipt, he had the invoice, and it was like, this is how he did things. So yeah, really cool.
And that's where we meet it, at Driver Motorsports. With an engine misplaced and glass somewhere spread around the shop, there's signs of a finished car around here somewhere.
Yeah, life in general. So the big one for us, I think a couple years ago, is my son got diagnosed with type 1. So that was a big challenge for our family. He's my middle one. He's 12 now. He's doing great. But, you know, that was a big change in life for us in general, not only for him, but just having to do that. And then literally, like, I guess September that same year, I got diagnosed with bladder cancer.
I'm sorry, man.
So that has been something that we never, like, had no signs. You know, I'm only 41 and no family history of that. And it really shocked us. Just, I mean, this thing just starts smacking you, right? And you get, life in general, and then it's just, some things are just not priorities anymore. And it was like, you get to this, you know, the spot, you're like, you really want to do something, and you've been able to get it, you know, so far, and it's like, man, you just, life takes over. And
it's like it's home. And I guess that kind of just leads me to my final question, I guess, is, you know, we've got a few months that we're gonna be kind of putting our nose to the grindstone on getting it finished. And our goal is to try and see if we can get it unveiled at Seaverville in, I think it's end of September, early October. And I was hoping, if we do get it done, would you like to come unveil it with me so you can see it for the first time?
I'll be there. I'll be there with my shirt on or whatever. And
Appreciate it, man. All right, well, mission accomplished for you. I'll keep you posted on how this goes, and I pray to God that I can get it done. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
What's going on, everybody? Devin from Driver Motorsports here. I am sure that Alex has filled you guys in on what we're doing with this car, so I'm not going to go too deep on the details, but we are going to fix a few things while it is here with us. So we got to do some rust repair, got to do some wiring, got to do a few other bits, but let's dig into it and see exactly what we're doing today. All right, because this car is 54 years old, we've got a bunch of rust repair to do. So I've already done a few bits a few years ago. The floor pans have been replaced. The frame rails underneath have been replaced. There's still a few things that need to be replaced, like the battery tray was rusted out. It's a very common place on these, but the tub needs to be replaced, so we'll work on that today. And then, if you follow me, somebody's past life drilled holes through here underneath the battery tray. And because it cuts into these like dimples, it's going to be really tricky, and it won't look good if I were to just make filler panels right there. And there's some rust up here. So we're going to go ahead, cut this all the way out, and I've got a replacement panel that has these dimples in it. That way it's proper and it looks good. It doesn't look weird on these bottom edges. So that's another thing we have to do. And then, as you can see, where the old hood latch was, it was rotted away. So we've got to replace this whole center of the firewall essentially. And then I've also got to replace in here at the cowl. It's basically rotted away where the wiper motor bolts in. So, all right guys, so This is the panel that I just showed you where the holes are cut out and it's a little rotted over here. So what I'm about to do is mark out where I need to cut, but what I'm gonna do is drill a hole from this side so that I know my boundaries on the other side. So I don't want to cut out these tabs because they place the heater core in the glove box and the whole dash area. So these I want to leave, but I need to cut out, you know, down to here or so. So I'll drill my holes and we'll start cutting. When you do this, you want to make sure it's flush and you don't have any overlap. Most people mess up when they have the overlap because then you can tell that this has been a replacement panel. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you cannot tell that this thing has been replaced once it's painted. So you've got to be really careful, take your time, trim it in. And now what I'll do is I'm going to tack it and then move to somewhere else, tack it.
Put in a massive part order right before this moment. And to be honest, it reaffirmed my own advice to all of you. Don't ever buy someone else's project car. So this is not exactly how I wanted the windshield to arrive for the Datsun, but I think we're gonna need to come up with a backup plan. Johnny, is the whole suspension moving or is it compressing?
No, the whole suspension's moving. That's not tight up top. There's no way. You got it, but it's upside down.
Brother, I have got no brain cells left. Can you see it? Can you see it, Squidward?
There you go.
Johnny, it's not working, Johnny.
Is it supposed to be that tight?
Jesus. Some?
1 millimeter. Grazie.
Mazel tov. All right, so a little update because we don't have the heater core element of the RB, which means in the back here, there's essentially a Y outlet port. It goes around, comes back in to some sort of coolant reservoir, heats everything, and then it gets fed back to the water pump. We don't have any of that, and we don't have time, unfortunately, to go buy the delete kit because all of the RB stuff is in Australia. Now, so what we're gonna do is we have 5/8 line. I actually put a plug on one of the two Ys, and then we're gonna feed it back using this brake line. Should work, should be enough for us to pressure test. If we pressure test it and it blows out, we know it's no good, but we need this to hold about 15 to 20 pounds-ish of coolant pressure, which will tell us that the system will work until we get the actual delete kit.
It was all really easy.
It definitely did not take about 2 hours to come to this concoction of materials, which is either a PG or R-rated toy, a plug, right? And then a 10 mil, which this comes standard in all Nissans, but this one is actually a Ford.
Remember those washers from the beginning? The ones behind the rotors? What we thought might have been installed just for moving the car around ended up being the reason our coilover conversion kit was coming into contact with the rotor.
So we're running into an issue where this caliper was actually binding up on this adapter plate right here, which is used to make this whole kit and conversion work. So when we got the car, there were washers behind the studs, and we thought that maybe that was just to make the teardrop wheels work. But then we tried to push it, and the three of us could barely push it. And I'll show you a picture. It was binding up really bad on that yellow piece here. So we added the washer back. We've got the hub-centric piece. And then when we look at the side, we have clearance now. So I'm not sure if a washer's the right move, but I don't know if Techno Toy Tuning has a different way to do this. So I'm gonna shoot them a message. We're gonna get this assembled. We're gonna see if this fixes it, but we could not move this car about 15 minutes ago. So hopefully this fixes it and we'll see what happens.
We are finally ready for the dyno. And even though it seemed like every bolt fought us and every axle shaft girth millimeter number was wrong, which is weird phrasing again, and we were learning just what wasn't and what was done on this car, to see it getting pushed onto the trailer for the first time in over 5 years with the goal of tuning it felt insane. It was progress.
Good to see you, sir.
Hi, I'm Becca.
Hey, Carl.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going, sir?
Cody.
Alex. Nice to meet you. Really hoping that this would be the celebration case, but I think it's more of a mourning case. Alrighty boys, I'm heading out. I was hoping to give this in terms of celebration, but you might just need it more in terms of mourning, so do whatever you want with that. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Sounds good. So if you guys remember, there's some people that do. I had a white 280Z. Becca, you remember the 280Z? That car's actually came here to get tuned, and this was, watch your feet, this was the power it made. So this is the actual dyno graph of that car. So 260 and 326 foot-pounds of torque. And if you want an Easter egg, come with me, come with me. I actually learned this from this guy the first time I was here. This is super crazy. This is how small of a world it actually is. So we're talking about this old Z that Carl worked on and the team. And they were talking about like the weird exhaust that we built in our garage. If you remember, we had a single exit exhaust on that car. This is what Michael Briette made. This is what was on my 1976 Datsun 280Z from 10 years ago. Yeah, just sitting here. Can you imagine that? Is that not crazy?
Alex, you do need to lower your Datsun. It's the same height as my Camaro. And yeah.
I should be okay. It's a pretty narrow car. Getting in it straight, that's the tricky bit. The track kind of has its design.
Nice stamp.
In 2022, I left that old wheel company because it felt like I was forced to make a decision, people or profits. I'm not a saint by any means, but I'm not someone who believes in taking advantage of people. Things are supposed to be trades. It was a really hard year, and I remember that year like it was yesterday. It was scary, the letters, everything, panicking how I was gonna figure out how to even pay for my bills. But I still decided to scrounge up enough money to sponsor Slammedenuff Sevierville with Martini Works before we could even sell car parts. It was a scary time, both in my personal life and what I was supposed to do as a career for the rest of my life. But you, the community, and my close friends taught me that there was still a path forward. Ever since, we've come back bigger and sometimes maybe even gone too far. But all of that to show that we truly give a shit about this community. So since we're here, let's show the rest of the community what we finally got on the road. Which is why I couldn't think of a better place to invite Chad and his family out to check out the car.
Wow, this is a lot.
So we put the Kata Grid Eurostars in there. We finished up the center console. We kept that kind of resto steering wheel that I know you had.
That was the competition,
gauges, yep, the gauges are the same.
Oh my gosh.
So we got her up and running with the help of Carl from Lindgren Supercars and Vibrant and Garrett, Techno Toy Tuning, and pretty much everyone that you see has a label on this thing. They helped in some way, shape, or form figuring it out or telling us we did something wrong. But pump gas, $495 to the wheel.
That's a lot for a car that weighs
That's
virtually nothing.
Yeah, that's
probably
a lot.
At this point.
Yeah, I think it's right around, I think when we weighed it, it was 2108.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, just about 2108.
Way lower than I thought it was going to be.
Gave me something, and so we're gonna have it in the booth. I gotta make sure it doesn't fall because I gotta be careful with it. Not much storage space in these things.
There you go.
So this is a painting from your neighbor, right?
From my uncle's neighbor.
My uncle's neighbor, or your uncle's neighbor. This is your farm though, right?
This is at my farmhouse, yeah.
And then this is the Z from. It's marked 2000 though. We're gonna put this up at the booth. You haven't seen the booth yet, but it'll make. I think it'll flow pretty much perfectly with how we have the booth set up. So.
Oh, dude, you guys. It's nice to meet you. You'd be proud, dude. I'm proud, I know you.
So, okay, neutral. All right, just hit her on here.
Press it down until she starts. This car is nowhere near done. It's still got rust in corners we couldn't get to. Our exhaust rubs on the frame rail and our E85 problem has yet to be solved. Our interior looks like a German nightclub and the radio we've saved up is still in its own little box collecting dust. But we did exactly what we said we'd do. We've taken the first big step in being a steward for this Series 1 Datsun 240Z. A car that defined Chad's childhood with his uncle Steve. The car that saw over 200,000 miles, decades of history, moments of memories that were both good and probably bad. A car that meant the world to this family, which had stayed close to this build since we started it nearly a year and a half ago. So thank you for being a part of this. It may be a few weeks before you see it again, but I promise this is a car we will continue to steward and work on as we get into the cold, dark nights of Wisconsin winter. But our goal between then and now is simple. We make this car look perfect. So thank you for watching, and if you're looking for any car parts, don't forget to mod your car with your friends at martiniworks.com. If you don't need parts but you'd still like to support, consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow.